This is a test of the DroidCam audio. I don't think that actually I have never tried this. Um, this is going to be kind of new. I'm going to mount it on the tripod, so stand by. Okay. Um, Also, I don't think I can pinch to go in, but I can't pinch to go out. I wonder if Droid Cam Pro does it better. I don't know because I can't go landscape. I wish I could. So here we are seeing the field from a higher elevation. So uh, that's not bad. Let me make sure everything else is working okay. Yeah, it appears to be. Um, well, that's kind of a good thing, actually. Uh, so again, the Droid Cam is here, and the rest of this is the Microsoft LifeCam. Um, we have completed this video. This series of videos is about testing, if you want to call it that, the organization of the Confederate and Union forces for the a big Vicksburg siege game. Well, it's not really a siege game. It's really an assault game. It's D-Day is what it is. And that's the name of it, American Civil War or D-Day Civil War. In commemoration of the D-Day of this year, 1944, we are in 2024 commemorating the D-Day landings. Well, I decided that let's do a Vicksburg scenario, or at least some kind of invasion scenario in the American Civil War. So Vicksburg came up. And for the last 2 or a year and a half or so, I've been working on everything to do with that concept. And um, this is the results. This is a smaller table test of the units involved, and to make sure that they look appropriate, they are all mostly 3D printed, 10 millimeter, and some of them are purchased from GHQ and Perrin Miniatures and uh, uh, Cracker Line um, miniatures. I would recommend Cracker Line, and I have, and I, as a matter of fact, have it on the website as well. Um, their sculpts and size are appear to be the best, and Perrin Miniatures I would not recommend, much as I hoped that they would work. If you want, like Callistra, you want to stay in that scale, buy all Callistra. Don't buy anything else. Perrin, you want to stay in that scale. We'll say the term scale, then stay in that. And if you want to stay in the GHQ, stay in that. Because when we were going through all of the collection and painting and everything, the GHQ Microforce, whatever it's called, American Civil War, are very small, accurate, but very small, meaning that bayonets bend and rifles bend and swords bend very easily. Yes, they're metal. So in the printing of the 3D models to accompany the GHQ Microforce, it became apparent that the size was kind of difficult for the printers to do, for the resin printer. Remember, we can't do filament on something this tiny. So the resin printer had difficulty doing figures of this size, of that size. In other words, we pushed them to kind of 11 millimeter because that little millimeter change made a difference enough, and not visually. It made a structural difference in the figures. So the some of these units are GHQ, Microforce, American Civil War, individual pasted or glued on the clear Lexan stands, and sometimes the front rank and sometimes the back rank is the resin printed strip of miniatures, not individuals. Now, as I did remark in another video, I did successfully use the filament printer to print a flag holder figure. So that was somewhat encouraging that I was able to get the resolution for something that tiny appropriate enough to print extra miniatures because the flag holders were found to be coming off, breaking off at the ankles um, from some of the units that I touched. And yes, even I can be clumsy. And I touch things like a surgeon. So, it's going to happen. So you got to plan for that. Are the flags themselves going to break? No, because the flags are removable. And that is another key statement. The flagpoles themselves, with the flag art attached to them, are removable from the stand, from the figures. I did it that way deliberately so that it would, if touched, it would fall out. There's a ring in the sculpture of the figure. There's a ring and a ring. And in some cases, the mounted figure, there's a ring and a ring down below on the ground by the horse hooves. So the material that's used for the flagpole varies in one or two cases. The discovery was made that plastic toothpicks purchased, I don't know how many years ago, we never used them. They were found. And they are holiday, Christmas toothpicks with a little tiny Christmas tree on top. And I've since tried to find that plastic. Well, it was nice to have, but it's not necessary. Why? First of all, why is that toothpick important? Because it tapers. It tapers at the very tip. And that taper allows you to put it into the ring hand, and as it gets thicker, it holds itself pretty nicely in that hand. The other discovery, well, not the discovery per se. So, because of that ring holder figure, we were able to use our traditional shop broom material. The what do they call it? Bristle? Well, I guess. Each individual bristle in a certain kind of a shop broom was utilized. Now, bear in mind that not all shop brooms or dust brushes are the same, but it's important to find the kind of a broom that has the, first of all, the length and the strength to make a flagpole. And because they're plastic, you can cut them with scissors. And because they're relatively cheap, a single broom will last you forever in multiple eras. There are so many thousands of bristles on a shop broom that I bought a shop broom years ago, and I'm only now getting to 1 inch or 2 inches of it being cut. That's how great it is. So what is it exactly? Well, it's very small, obviously, diameter, and not always round, so be careful of that. Plastic. I can't tell you what kind of plastic it is. It does melt, but I do not know what kind of plastic it is. I know it's not ABS because that, I believe, would be too hard, but it is a shop broom, so-called, after all. And the dust broom is a little different. The dust broom, the handheld dust broom you might find anywhere, those bristles are going to be designed to break up and become multiple pieces, strands coming off of a single bristle. That's the reason for that. So you might buy them, oh, it's brand new, look, that's a great little broom. But then after using it, those bristles at the end break, and that's the intention. So that you could say that the plastic comprises multiple microscopic strands of plastic. That's the way it's extruded. And it's extruded from microscopic little ones into a single strand, and that becomes thousands of strands or bristles on the brush. And the same could be said for the shop broom. It's designed so that the very tip kind of shatters and becomes, fabric-like. So that's the reason for that. Okay, so that's the bit on the flag holders and the situation. Now, one might also say, do you need, like in the 172 scale, do you need to have all the units with flags and appropriate flags? Well, the answer obviously is no. You don't have to if you don't want to. But do you want to see a battlefield of all the same Confederate flag and all the same Union flag? That's the national flag? Kind of not. Because it's, first of all, it harkens to the Napoleonic era where you have multiple flags and multiple styles. Although I should say, in the French, in Napoleonic era, those flags are actually very organized, as opposed to the American Civil War, where you had multiple states and multiple ideas, and nobody had any standards. At least there was supposed to be a standard, but nobody followed it. And you would have a difference between, in a brigade, you'd have a difference. Alabama brigade, all the flags are different. All the Alabama flags are different. And all the Virginia flags, all the Tennessee flags. Well, not so much Tennessee. Apparently, Tennessee did a pretty good job maintaining its uniformity of its state flag amongst the regiments. But everybody else, bets are off. They're all over the map. So when I did the research trying to find the appropriate flag, I just had to say, you know what, this is crazy. What's the intention here? The intention is for it to be a visual icon on the game table. Ergo, there was some editing that had to be done to make these flags look uniform, and also the brigade flags. Now, if you do any research into the American Civil War, you'll see, well, actually, probably anything. The brigade flags are just bizarre. They just are. The symbology is just, hard to work with. And what we want to see in the modern era is a flag with a number on it. That's it, right? First Brigade, Second Brigade, Third Brigade, etc. So, that's what I did. I designed the state or the brigade flags to just have a number, but have the division, the flag of the division became the flag of all the brigades. The only problem is, of course, all the regiments in that brigade have different flags because they are from different, states. But there is some attempt at uniformity. Okay, so that's that. Um, okay. So what are we doing here today? Today, what we're doing here, this is my little mousy mouse. Okay, my Mika mouse. Mika mouse. Stop recording. Okay, so I'm getting ready to stop. Okay, so there we are. Thank you, as usual. I should tell you that I did attempt to buy a green tape, masking tape, so that, as I discussed earlier, all you had to do was put the green tape down to change the printed layout of these fabrics, and only in the case of a printed fabric designated or deliberately made to be a battlefield, printed on fabric. There may be times when you want to cover a road, cover a river, whatever, and the green tape that I purchased failed. So that's going back. The green tape I have, also known as painter's tape, it's just masking tape, actually was okay, but I was attempting to get something a little closer to the type of the PMS color that I used in this fabric, of which I do not remember what it is. And besides, trying to get PMS numbers in commercial masking tape is like, good luck with that. That's not going to happen. You can only get as close as what the manufacturers make. It would be great if you could custom make masking tape, custom color it, but no. Now, that just brings up another point. Could you use a normal tan masking tape and paint it? The answer is yes. Did I try that? No. Will I? Probably not. Do I want to? Yes. More than likely, it would be very helpful if it would match. Why? Because visually, that's all. Visually, it would be appropriate to have a tape on the game table that you can't really notice. So it's something that I'll look into. I don't know. Also, and then to wrap up, the fence segments, you see, like this. This is a little. These are segments of fence 3D printed that are on a fabric, right? We talked about the fabric thing, and that is working fantastically. And from now on, that is probably going to be, I probably said this 2 years, 3 years ago, before COVID even. That's the way forward. Put the fence into segments, not long strips like this, but little tiny segments, and so that you can put it on fabric and it can go up and down a hill. And that's the big thing. Now, there are hills here. You can see that I have, it's a fabric. It's a corrugated fabric. And so that just looks nice. But in the future, what I will not be doing that. I will make a strip all the way around the field and then put the corrugated piece in there separately. Ergo, so you can have different things inside there. Okay, so there we are. Thanks again, and we'll begin now to next segment. We will move where are we? Moving the Confederates, right? Yes, the Union has moved. Confederates will move next.